Hello and welcome to a new episode of Connected Live. My name is Elisa Goder and thank you very much for joining us again today. Today's topic will be all about forage wagons, literally from A to Z. Today's guest is a colleague of mine, Benedikt Lambrecht-Speller. Thanks for having me on the show today and welcome to all our viewers. To fill in our viewers, what's our specific topic today? First of all, what does forage quality from a forage wagon actually mean, and what needs special attention? Second, we want to take a trip through the world of KRONE forage wagons, as well as a few tips for the upcoming season. At the end, we'll have some news to present. We look forward to that, and as always, we're hosting our weekly giveaway at the end of the show, so it's worth paying attention. And should there be any questions during the show, please do not hesitate to write them in the chat or send us an email to mbk.live@krone.de. Before we set foot inside the world of KRONE forage wagons, what are the main aspects when it comes to producing high quality forage? Well, on screen you'll see the number 60. 60% of the mixed forage rations consist of grass silage. Therefore, the quality of the grass silage has a large impact on success. That's why we at KRONE pride ourselves on producing the best engineered machines for harvesting and prepping of grass silage by meeting the demands and individual needs of our customers. I've put together some of the important influencing factors which we need to be able to handle in order to produce the best quality forage for our stock throughout the year. First of all, the timing. When do we harvest? The first cut in spring or the 6th or 7th in autumn? Also, the weather plays a vital role, whether it's dry, unstable or rainy. Last of all, the plant. What are we harvesting? Not all species are the same. Some are more robust, others are very fragile. Our machines are able to adapt to all conditions to ensure an optimal harvest. Thanks for the overview, but we also want to talk about our innovative technology. Behind me is the KRONE Amx. As promised, we'll run through the models from A to Z. What can you tell us about the Amx models? This model here is our smallest we have. It's the Amx 250 FD or FL. This model is equipped with a feed rotor and a collapsible hay extensions for improving its clearance. It's a very small and compact wagon designed for smaller businesses and smaller tractors. What other Amx models do we have? Well, the Amx Series features, as already mentioned, the collapsible hay extensions, as well as a conventional rigid sidewall with steel extensions and top ropes which prevent material being lost during transport, and the third variant with reinforced silage extensions and a silage hatch at the top of the headboard, which makes this the model most versatile as it can support the harvest year-round. What do all our wagons have in common that allow them to produce high and constant quality silage? Yes, that was meant to be the main topic of this episode. Our live show design, what does forage quality mean and how do we achieve this? I want to use the Amx model to present the key components and key features found in all our wagon models. Starting with the pickup, it's our easy flow pickup, well known from other KRONE products. It's low in maintenance and achieves a very clean material pickup. It guarantees for clean harvest, which is very important when quality needs to be high. Integrated behind here is the cutting rotor, designed for high intake rates as well as exact cuts. Our Amx models have a 45mm cutting length for optimal processing. A feature to mention is the wide width of our rotor tines. Especially when handling fragile crop, it's important to be as gentle as possible so that it doesn't get all bruised.
Vom Futter gesprochen, was eher etwas zarter ist, was etwas besser behandelt werden muss. Das heißt hier breite Förderauflagen, stell dir vor, du bist ein Grashalm, da fühlst du dich natürlich wohler, wenn du auf einer schönen breiten Ablagefläche liegst und nicht auf einer Messerspitze reiten musst.
Right after the rotor are the knives. As shown in the upcoming picture, it's a unique feature of our scissor cutting technique. The knives are positioned very close to the left, resulting in a scissor-like counterblade.
Super nah an den Förderauflagen stehen und wie wir da eigentlich einen Scherenschnitt hinbekommen. Auch hier versuche ich nochmal das Ganze bildlich zu
To be able to visualize my point a bit better, it would be like using scissors or a knife to cut a shape from a piece of paper. Of course, the scissors are going to be more effective and precise. That's why we choose to run the same scissor cut in our KRONE wagons. After the rotor and the knife assembly, we come to the loading area. The loading area features a sloping floor, which ensures the material doesn't need to be conveyed as high.
Unser abgesenkter Kratzboden, der einfach dafür sorgt, dass wir das Ganze nicht so hoch fördern müssen.
Ich muss ja gestehen, ganz so eindeutig ist es jetzt nicht. Also man muss wirklich schon genau hinschauen, aber deswegen haben wir auch.
And to visualize the sloping floor a bit better, we brought along this graphic. In the middle is the large rotor, allowing for a large stroke. The sloping floor minimizes the tractor input while it's also being more gentle on the crop.
Und durch den abgesenkten Kratzboden haben wir einfach nochmal weniger Arbeit, die der Schlepper verrichten muss, aber auch weniger Belastung, die auf das Futter wirkt. Das heißt, auch wieder hier ein übertragenes Beispiel.
And to understand my point a bit better, imagine stacking crates of water. It's surely easier to stack them on a chair rather than on the table. It's always going to be more work if the height is increased. The Ax has a sloped floor height of 25 centimeters and the other models 35 centimeters respectively. The Ax being the smallest of our wagon lineup, followed by the Amx. What model is best suited for whom? The Ax being the smallest model we offer, it's mainly focused at small-scale farmers or sideline contractors. It's a good choice for anyone wanting to use their own equipment in silage, forage, harvesting applications. The Amx models are the next in line. They are larger, offering more capacity with a larger cutting rotor for more throughput. It's mainly aimed at small to mid-scale businesses or sideline contracting. Which model is best suited for sloping terrain? The Ax model is definitely the best candidate as it features a low center of gravity and is lightweight. Also, the Ax is available to be equipped with a hydraulic chassis, making it super stable. Next up, we'll play a short clip showing the two models in action. This is our Ax equipped with the silage extensions, making it solid worker harvesting grass, silage or maize from a forager. The different variants offer maximum flexibility for all applications. And here we see the silage hatch in action, demonstrating its all-round capability. Next we come to the Amx Series, available in 3 different versions from 33 to 40 cubic meters in volume. These are best suited for mid to large businesses and contractors who have access to larger tractors. The Amx can be equipped with optional discharge rollers for unloading in a uniform mat, allowing for perfect compression. A great piece of kit with many unique, innovative features, making it a very versatile machine. Moving up the ladder, our KRONE RX. It's quite a lot bigger, not so much suited for the everyday farmer, right? Yeah, the Ax and Amx are more aimed at the small to mid-scale businesses. The RX is better suited for professional contractors or large-scale farming operations.
ist sicherlich auch ein Fahrzeug für größere Milchviehbetriebe, die sich eigenmechanisieren wollen, aber natürlich auch super ein Fahrzeug für Dienstleister, Lohnbetriebe, die hier mit dieser Technik dann die Landwirte unterstützen wollen.
Well, what are some of the RX technical highlights?
Ja, natürlich auch hier das gleiche.
Same scenario as before, it features a wider crop flow and the same feature as on the previous two models, careful handling of the crop being the most important aspect. The hydraulic chassis is fitted as standard, since these are used to transport harvest over public road. It's a must-have as it ensures smooth and safe operation. Discharge rollers are an optional extra as they were on the other models, and last but not least, the pivoting hydraulic headboard as shown on screen now. The variable hydraulic headboard can pivot to various positions to support the filling process. When the machine is gathering material through the pickup, the headboard starts at a nearly vertical position, and once the load area is being filled, the headboard moves forward towards the tractor, expanding the load area and making use of all space available. The active pivoting of the headboard also allows for optimal stacking of the material, which impacts the way it's going to be discharged, maximizing the quality of the forage. In summer months, the material can dry out very quickly, and using the hydraulic headboard, the operator can act out a certain amount of back pressure, compressing the material and allowing for maximum loading and thus reducing collecting times. At the same time, when the machine is used in conditions where fragile crop is collected, the hydraulic headboard can actually be set to the most forward position in order to minimize the pressure acting on the crop.
Hier haben wir es eigentlich dann auch ein Stück weit mit der Königsdisziplin zu tun, denn das sind diese ganz zarte Gräser, die dazu neigen, in ihrer Struktur beschädigt zu werden, und die wollen sehr sanft behandelt werden. Wir haben ja eben schon über unsere Förderauflagen etc. gesprochen, aber auch sobald sie in den Laderaum kommen, wollen sie nicht mehr mit Druck beaufschlagt werden. Das heißt, wir stellen unsere Wand nach vorne und entlasten sozusagen den Gegendruck im Laderaum und können so auch dann wieder für optimales Futter sorgen.
And that was all about getting the material inside the loading area as gently as possible to ensure an optimal forage quality. However, the cutting process is also a very important aspect when it comes to optimal forage quality. How important are the sharp blades inside the cutter bar? We've prepared by freeing the cutter bar on this machine. Having sharp knives is of course very important. Nice feature is the ability to completely sway out the cutter bar to the side of the machine, allowing for perfect access. Knives can easily be removed and inspected under light to identify bluntness or damage. Knives need to be sharp and in good condition to work properly. Of course, when in use, knives will eventually turn blunt and they will need to be sharpened or exchanged. You just mentioned knives need to be changed out every now and then. When the machine is in use all day, how often will I need to check on them? There's no specific answer to that question, as it does depend on the field it's used in and the amount of material being pushed through. However, a skilled operator will notice the tractor needing more power to get the job done because blunt knives won't cut as easily as sharp knives would. It's also a good measure to check on the cut material to ensure good quality cut at this stage. In general, I recommend checking on them at the latest by lunchtime. What do I do if the knives are blunt? Do I need to go back to the workshop? Well, we have the options of swapping the whole set out for a fresh one, or we can sharpen the knives with our patent speed sharp system. And here's a short clip to get an understanding of how that works. The cutter bar is lowered and swayed out to the side of the machine.
Die Messerkassette wird dann einseitig hier aus dem Zylinder gehoben, über den Hebel wird auf der anderen Seite der Hubzylinder gelöst und dann kann man die Messerkassette hier auch schon ganz einfach rumschwenken.
Next step is to position the speed sharp system over the knives and fixed to have it stay in place. Simply connect the hydraulic hoses to the speed sharp system and it'll be ready to operate using a hydraulic motors to turn the flap discs. The flap discs is supported by a spring, pressing them against the side of the knife. The process is repeated once or twice and the knives are ready to be used for further work. Well, the next topic is going to be all about tires. What makes which tire best suited for my application? Tires have an important aspect to consider. This RX has a 26.5-inch flotation tire mounted. The size and tread pattern are the key things to consider. The flotation tires, as mounted here, have a very smooth side profile. They're best suited for using grass silage and in order to protect the surface they're travelling on. When, however, the wagon gets used in the maize harvest, chances are they will encounter muddy and slippery conditions. For this purpose, we offer a tractor tread tire. It features a more aggressive sidewall and a more coarse tread, allowing it to free itself from mud. Therefore, it's worthwhile deciding what the machine is primarily going to be used for, in order to choose the correct tread pattern accordingly.
Bei der Profilwahl auf jeden Fall schon mal eine gute Wahl anhand dessen treffen, was man denn im Endeffekt vorhat. Des Weiteren
26.5-inch rim isn't the maximum size available. We also offer a 33.5-inch variant for the RX and Zx models, as seen in this picture.
30,5 Zoll Bereifen ist auch möglich bei unserer RX und ZX Familie oder bei den
larger tires have the advantage of increasing the flotation effect, meaning they're gentler to the soil they're running on. This is especially important when working in wet and swampy areas. We want to keep the wheel tracks to a minimum.
Und auch dann, wenn wir auf sehr feuchten, nassen Bedingungen unterwegs sind, moorige Regionen, dann ist einfach so ein großer Reifen ein Riesenvorteil. Zudem hat er auch einfach ein leichteres Abrollverhalten. Also hier gibt es wirklich eine Möglichkeit, sich auch, was die Bereifung angeht, perfekt zu wappnen. Und zum guten Schluss, nach dem Schnitt ist vor dem Schnitt. Wir wollen ja auch wieder
And forage quality is our main objective here. And larger tires is a good countermeasure, because larger tire play a vital role in speeding up and encouraging future plant growth. Thank you very much, Benedikt. That was all on the topic tires. Let's keep going and take a look at the Psi Conveyor. What's it used for? As already talked about a few episodes back when we featured the Amx Wagon and fresh silage transport, I think was the topic, we used the conveyor to feed our animals inside the barn. To take a look inside, the conveyor measures 90 centimeters in width and is driven by a hydraulic motor, which is able to be operated in both directions, actuated by a two-way control unit from inside the cab, allowing us to deliver fresh forage directly to our stock feeding table. What if I want to use the machine on compacted silage mounts? Will I need to disassemble it first? No, it's not necessary. It's actually part of the fresh feeding concept, since we mainly feed stored forage during the winter months. That's where the conveyor comes in handy. I can load the machine using the conventional methods, with the exception of using a few extra knives. When opening the rear hatch, the conveyor will actually swing up with it and the standing unloading procedure can be completed. All the features we just talked about are pretty exciting, but we do have more, right? Yes, we do. As mentioned at the beginning, we'll go from A to Z. We've now covered A, M, and R. I think it's time we get to our flagship model, the Z models. Here's a short video clip to give our viewers an idea of what's to come. To start off, a few impressions of the already featured RX models. 3 different variants available: the RX 360 with 36 cubic meters in with a rigid headboard, and the 2 larger variants, the RX 400 and RX 430, with 40 and 43 cubic meters in volume. Best suited for small to mid-sized contractors or farming operations. Next up, we have our ZX models as seen on screen behind the JCB. The ZX models are even larger, featuring an even bigger feed rotor, allowing for more throughput with its unique drivetrain. The ZX is best suited for applications where throughput is of high importance. Now we're standing in front of the huge KRONE Zx Wagon. Truly massive. It's the biggest one we have, right? Yes. We started off as small Amx Series wagons and have now made it to the Zx 560 with 56 cubic meters of volume. It's the machine of choice when there's an approaching thunderstorm and its time is of the essence. And who is this model best suited for? Well, as already mentioned, the ZX is best suited for large and professional contractors who are able to use all the available power to hand. The large rake is recommended because the ZX is very hungry and needs a lot of material to be pushed in to maximize its throughput.
Ja, wie sieht's denn aus? Was macht denn den ZX Ladewagen so bärenstark?
What's the main reason the ZX is as strong as it is? As already mentioned, this is all that's possible. When it comes to the volume as well as throughput, the ZX features a very unique, reserved for this model only drivetrain, allowing levels of throughput that cannot be matched. The unique drivetrain is called Power Belt, mounted on the front left. The drivetrain has similarities with that of a forage harvester. They both get driven over a power belt, allowing us to transmit 400 horsepower from our PDI drive to our planetary gearbox without a problem. Over the years, tractors have been increasing in size steadily. 400 horsepower, their PDI is nothing special anymore. The power belt system simply allows for optimal power transmission. Another advantage of the system is the capability to absorb torque peaks. During the harvesting operation on fields, uneven swaths are not uncommon. The power belt system will actually absorb these peaks and forgive the operator for not reducing speed. That's the main reason why the ZX is the king of maximum throughput capability. In other words, the ZX can operate in difficult conditions where others need to stop and even out. Yes, exactly. The power belt system has been in the ZX since 2015, but we promised our viewers something brand new. Correct, I did promise to present some news. As already mentioned, the ZX have been used with ever-increasing tractor size, with more and more throughput being achieved that was unimaginable a few years back. But it's possible, and we have now reacted to that fact. We want to be able to achieve the maximum quality forage whilst maximizing the maximum throughput. We've talked about the cut and feed rotor, the cutter bar and flow system, while we've optimized all of that on the ZX. Starting with the feed rotor, we've increased the area of the rotor tine by 50%, giving more support for the material and ensuring better quality forage. Furthermore, we've changed the shape of the knife channel to a comb structure. The comb structure allows the knives to be better supported and guarantee the best possible cut, even under high load scenarios. All round, they were all very successful changes, now standard on the Zx models. All pretty exciting stuff, but what else have we got? It's new to the Zx is the so-called split cut system. The issue with the current system when using large tractors and big swaths is that the entire width of the pickup and feed rotor is supplied with material. The current system is primarily designed to cut more towards the middle of the rotor and not supply as much material on the outside edges of the rotor. When using large tractors, we found that it occurred more often than not that the entire width of the rotor is forced to push material through it. That's where the split cut system comes into action. And split cut allows for maximum cutting quality of the entire rotor width, as seen on the illustration on the screen. The traditional system allows for material to surpass the cutting rotor by slipping through the sidewall and the outer rotor tine. The new system works by combining the feed rotor and sidewall and integrated blade system, or split cutter, to prevent material from slipping through uncut. This illustration shows the new system from side view, shows how the material coming in on the far right or far left is deviated from its course and cannot flow into the load area without passing over the cutter bar first, which adequately focuses on better quality forage.
Im linken und rechten Bereich des Schneidrotors jeweils eine Kombination von Rheumazinken, von einem Förderstern, Entschuldigung, den Rheumazinken hatte ich gerade schon angesprochen. Dann haben wir die Trennwand, dann haben wir ein Gutleitblech vorne und wir haben ein Trennmesser. Und ich habe jetzt hier nochmal auf der zweiten Zeichnung ein besser dargestelltes Bild, was da jetzt genau passiert. Denn das Futter gelangt an das äußerste Messer und hier passiert der Split. Das heißt, wir spalten den Gutstrom auf in zwei Hälften. Wie man hier sieht, der rote Bereich ist der geschnitten ist, der kann in den Laderaum, so wollen wir es haben, aber der gelbe Bereich, dieser wird abgesondert. Das ist der Bereich, der an der Außenwand vorbei gefördert wurde. Und durch die Einhausung von unserem Split-Cut-System ist es jetzt so, dass es nicht an den Laderaum gelangen kann und durch den Rheumazinken darum wieder mit nach vorne genommen wird. Und hier wird es dann über die Gutleitbleche so zur Mitte hin abgesondert, dass es dann nochmal durch die Messer muss und dann im Endeffekt, Elisa,
haben wir perfekte Futterqualität im Ladewagen. Ja, Benedikt, herzlichen
Thank you very much for your presentation today, Benedikt. I hope you're able to take home a few points and impressions. And that's it from us today. Next week, it's all about the 5th generation Big Pack with a few exciting new features we'll present to you.
Details machen den Unterschied. Wir sprechen überwiegend über die 5. Generation Big Pack und wir haben auch hier einige spannende Neuheiten für Sie dabei. Also
Until then, goodbye.
Wir sehen uns. Ich freue mich auf Sie.